I think that Greg Matulla's Adventureland is one of the most severely underrated comedies of all time. It's less immediately laugh-out-loud funny than his more well-known comedy Superbad, but the intention was never to make some sort of spiritual follow-up. He had actually been working on the script for Adventureland for a few years before getting offered the job to direct Superbad, but after the financial failure of his first film, The Day Trippers, made studios wary of funding his next project, he ended up floating around as a TV director working on shows like Arrested Development and Undeclared, where he met Judd Apatow. When looking for a director for Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg's raunchy teen sex comedy, he knew that he needed to find a director that could bring out the heart of the film. Superbad was always a funny script, but we needed a director who would emphasize the dramatic aspects of the story. Greg is as funny as anyone, but he also really understood and cared about the friendship story, and that is why the movie works. Without Greg, the movie would have just been about penis drawings. Superbad, of course, went on to become wildly successful. It was one of the more profitable films of the year, and one of the most critically acclaimed comedies of its time, which finally allowed Greg Matulla to return to the project he had been working on all of those years, a memory piece depicting his time working at a local amusement park in the 1980s. But despite positive reviews and a star-studded cast that have honestly only gotten more famous since the movie came out, it never even came close to reaching the same success as Superbad, only taking in a total of $17 million at the box office. I just think it's one of the many cases of poorly handled marketing, where they slapped from the director of Superbad on every trailer and poster and generally presented the film as just another hard R sex comedy that would appeal to the same audience.
Coming?
Yeah, you go ahead. I'll be in a second.
Oh, overhead him! Look at this thing. Yeah!
But Adventureland is much more of a dramedy than straight comedy. It's a coming-of-age story that feels much more in the vein of Wes Anderson than something like American Pie. It was Greg Matulla's way of grappling with some of the major hurdles of youth, from working a crappy summer job to discovering himself and falling in love for the first time. It goes beyond the normal get-laid-at-all-costs mentality of most of these sort of movies, and digs at something deeper about what it really means to be intimate with someone and the cost that comes with that. At the start of the film, James has just been dumped by a girl he's been seeing for less than 2 weeks, but he's already convinced that he's in love, something he decides to share with Em on their first date.
Hey, I feel like I should tell you.
Tell me what?
Yeah, I had my heart broken recently. Is that I don't know, I just thought I should tell you.
And through the process of getting closer to Em both in and outside of work, he starts to share similar feelings for her, confiding in Connell.
I think I'm in love with her.
It feels like such an authentic portrait of that first love that most of us go through. You barely even know this person, they barely know you, but you can't help feeling these intense emotions. But it's that lack of true understanding of who this person is that ends up causing pain on both sides.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit in my life. I'm not ready for this.
Oh.
I need to take things slow.
Okay.
It's one of the many things that we learn as we get older, and one of the major themes that Matulla wanted to explore. Can this guy go from the stage of only infatuating women to understanding that intimacy requires being vulnerable, to seeing a person for who they really are, all of these layers, and then to the point where he can actually date somebody and not be a complete child about it? James makes a lot of mistakes throughout the film in his conquest for love. He fails to have proper empathy for Em, he takes bad advice from the wrong people, and seems to worry more about what others think of him than what truly matters to him. But he seems to genuinely grow by the end of the film, realizing that to care for someone means giving them the power to hurt you, but also knowing that it isn't always about you. Sometimes people are dealing with their own struggles, and part of growing up is accepting that, and having the capacity to forgive people when they screw up. Another big part of growing up is learning that you might be idolizing the wrong people, and that the real friends are the ones that stick up for you and call you on your shit.
You don't even appreciate what you have. You're chasing after Lisa P. When you have this incredible, beautiful girl right fucking there. Fuck this.
None of these ideas are completely unique to this film, but Matulla writes his characters with such sincerity that every member of the cast so perfectly portrays that I think this film deserves the same love as any of the other great coming-of-age movies, right alongside films like Dazed and Confused. There's just something universal about these growing pains that transcend generational gaps, and it's refreshing to see a film that depicts the struggles that your average coming-of-age film seems to gloss over. Honestly, if I see one more movie or TV show where young people are living in mansions and never seem to go to school or work, I might lose my mind. It feels like most of the writers behind these sort of movies are so out of touch with the reality of the average family in the middle class, where we do find ourselves at a soul-sucking job.
So your life must be utter shit, or you wouldn't be here.
I was supposed to go to Europe, but my family has money problems.
Wait till your parents start making you pay rent. My dad even makes me pay utilities.
Dealing with rude customers and cleaning up after them, ready to drive ice picks into our ears after the zillionth time hearing the same song on repeat.
Jesus fucking Christ, they play the song like 20 times a day.
Fucking sadists. Fucking sadists!
But still, there is something special even about a crappy summer job, because maybe that ends up being where you find your confidence, or meet some of your best friends, and you'll certainly never be short on a great story. Amusement parks in particular can be these really stupid, boring places, and then the sun can go down and a breeze can be blowing and an attractive girl can be talking to you and flirting a little bit, and a great song can come on, something you really love on the loudspeaker, and with the twinkling lights, it can be a really beautiful place. There's always beauty to be found, even in the ugliest places, as long as you're there with the right people. And I think that's the main lesson that I took away from this film. That even though you may be at a job you hate, maybe your plans for your future can be taken away from you. You might act like an idiot or get hurt by people that you care about. Life is always throwing something at you, but as long as you can laugh about it and find people worth keeping around, ultimately that's all that matters in the end. There's no right way to grow up. Everyone has to do it in their own way, in their own time, and all we can do is try to learn something valuable from the things that happen to us. I think that's why I love coming-of-age films in general, because even though I'm quite a bit older than the character in these sort of films at this point, sometimes I still need that reminder. To me, that's the power of nostalgia, to remind us that the bad times never seem as bad in hindsight, and no matter how much we may have suffered at some point in time, we manage to find our way through it and usually end up better for it. Thank you for watching. This video was brought to you by Surfshark. I've been using Surfshark for some time now on both my phone and computer to add that layer of security when browsing the internet. It's impossible to know what information is being collected by various different websites and services, and using Surfshark just gives me that peace of mind, knowing that I'm protected from malware or phishing attempts. It also helps me get the most out of different streaming services by allowing me to watch region-blocked content regardless of what country I'm in. Take for instance, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, normally only available on Netflix in the UK, but with just a few quick clicks on the Surfshark app, I can now watch every episode right here in the US. There's a ton of other great features like the Clean Web tool that blocks ads, trackers, and malware to keep the internet feeling like it should, carefree and easy. And if your VPN ever drops connection unexpectedly, their kill switch will immediately disconnect you from the internet, keeping your privacy secure. If you head over to surfshark.deals/filmradar and use the code filmradar, you can get 85% off of a 2-year plan, and we'll even throw in 3 months for free, making your subscription cost just $1.77 a month. They also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it out, and it's a great way of protecting yourself online, and as a bonus, you'll be helping me to keep making videos as well. So head over to surfshark.deals/filmradar and use the code filmradar to sign up today.